Hey, what's up guys? So this past Thursday I went to go see Infinity War. The War for Infinity has finally arrived. I got this sick ass Infinity War cup and needless to say I loved it immensely. 10 years of waiting and I was not disappointed at all. Great story, great action, and it was really funny when it needed to be. So obviously there's a lot to talk about, but for the sake of this video I'm just going to give you guys my review of the movie and what I liked and what I didn't like and all the predictions that I got right and all the predictions that I got totally wrong, and I'll make separate videos to explain the ending of the movie so I can go more in depth on that and on the post-credit scene that we saw. And just in case you didn't know from the title, yes, there will be many spoilers in this video, so if you haven't seen the movie, please click away. This is a very spoiler-filled video and I don't want to spoil it for any of you guys. So yeah, if you haven't seen it, go away right now. But before we begin, make sure if you are subscribed to turn on your notifications to keep up with all my latest uploads, and if you are new to the channel then definitely consider subscribing if you do like the video and you want to see more. I talk a lot about the MCU and theories, and sometimes I will occasionally talk about the DCU when it is relevant. Definitely consider subscribing if you like any of that. Destiny has arrived, so let's get right into it. So Avengers Infinity War is the 19th movie in the MCU and it's the culmination of 10 years of interwoven, interconnected storylines, and it was just awesome, guys. A true spectacle, and it was incredibly balanced, especially for the scale and what they were attempting to do with this movie. I would definitely say it's the darkest MCU movie that has come out, but it's also incredibly fun. And for what it is and what it's done, it's my favorite Avengers movie by far. The action and special effects are amazing, especially from Doctor Strange, and when Thor, Rocket, and Groot enter Wakanda through the Bifrost, that's, if not my number one, my number two favorite part of the whole entire movie. When the heroes are getting overwhelmed and we see Thor with his new badass armor wielding Stormbreaker about to unleash godly wrath on those Outriders. And I love how epic and not only visually amazing it is, but I love when they actually let Thor be a god. I felt like until Thor Ragnarok, Thor felt kind of not depowered, but just held back in a way, but I really enjoy when they let Thor be a powerhouse, so that was really awesome. And Doctor Strange was another highlight of the movie. He was really awesome, especially the spells he was casting. They were visually awesome and amazing, and I love how formidable they made him against Thanos on Titan, because Doctor Strange in the Marvel universe is supposed to be a very powerful being, so I'm glad they let him stand his ground against Thanos pretty well in the movie. Stan Lee's bus driver cameo was awesome, super hilarious, as all his cameos typically are. Iron Spider and those legs looked amazing in motion, and I'm very glad the Russos included those in. Super awesome. The Guardians were fantastic and super hilarious as always. I know a lot of people, just because of the way the movie was advertised, thought that this was going to be a very serious movie, but you can still pull that off and still stay true to the characters, which they did amazingly with the Guardians. The Guardians are comedic characters, so I'm glad that they stay true to those characters and let them be as funny as they naturally are. Team Wakanda was great. Scarlet Witch did serious hex magic work on all those Outriders. Okoye and Black Widow did some serious groundwork. War Machine, Falcon, and Bucky did a really good job too. I really enjoyed seeing them. M'Baku and the rest of the Jabari did some serious groundwork on those Outriders, looking almost untouched like halfway through that battle. I loved all the interactions, the way Cap and Black Panther led the charge against those Outriders, blazing fast with that super soldier enhanced sprint, just blazing past everybody. That was just awesome. Iron Man, Tony Stark, the godfather of the MCU, was amazing, especially the banter between him and Doctor Strange. Super hilarious. Just two highly successful dudes, used to be douchebags turned heroes, meeting for the first time, and that was everything I hoped it would be. Thor and Star-Lord's interactions were amazing as well. Super hilarious. One of the many highlights in the movie, especially for me. Just playing off of all of Star-Lord's insecurities and Chris Hemsworth being Thor, an actual god of thunder, and Chris Hemsworth being a crazy physical specimen, and Star-Lord, you know, being kind of a half, you know, semi-god, and just playing off of that was pretty funny. Really, Star-Lord with anyone was hilarious, and he was definitely one of my favorite characters of this movie. The Black Order was pretty good too, but definitely the standouts were Ebony Maw, and closely behind him was Corvus Glaive. They were two great characters, and they did get most of the screen time in the movie. And finally, the villain, Thanos, was amazing. Very complex, relatable in some ways, and like all great villains, he believes what he's doing is right and for the greater good. And you can see see that capacity of love that they were talking about when he does end up sacrificing Gamora for the Soul Stone, and in the flashbacks and on Titan when Peter's telling him off and Mantis is sensing his emotions and his grief and his mourn. So I really like those touches in the movie. And yeah, I'll admit it was a little weird and a little funny to see Thanos actually crying in this movie. You don't really think that the main villain is gonna start crying, but you get to see more depth to the character, and I really enjoyed that. He wasn't bad just to be bad, just like a generic villain would be. He believed in his mind that this was the only way, and he was the only one able to do it. And as far as the ending goes, guys, I'll keep it kind of short and just summarize it really quick, just because I don't want to make this video too long, and I'll go in depth on another video. But yes, Black Panther, the Guardians, Spider-Man, and even Doctor Strange end up dying. But all I gotta say is just think sequels, Avengers 4, contracts, comic book deaths and how long they last, and comic book logic, and that's it. So before we go into what I didn't like about the movie and my rating of it, let's get into some of the predictions that I got right and some of the ones that I got wrong. So I was totally wrong about Thanos or Ebony Maw using the time stone to freeze everybody but Tony Stark in this scene here. And my whole time loop theory on Titan was wrong, but that portal technique, I did get that right. And the cloak of levitation being a huge player in stopping Thanos from using the gauntlet. But Thanos did end up kidnapping and sacrificing Gamora, so that was right. But he didn't end up sacrificing Gamora on Titan and getting the Soul Stone that way like I did think, but instead he did that on Vormir, which is in the Magellanic Cloud, which is governed by the Kree Empire. So there's a thin little connection to Captain Marvel right there, and I kind of have a theory that I want to throw in about that because we did see the Red Skull finally after 6 or 7 years. I have a feeling we might see the Red Skull in Captain Marvel when it does come out, because I remember a long time ago Sam Jackson actually did an interview and he mentioned that Nick Fury was looking to see where the Red Skull is, and we know that Nick Fury is going to be a prominent part of the Captain Marvel movie and actually bring her into the mix of things as we saw in the post-credit scenes. And I'm thinking he'll show up in the Marvel movie because he's there right now. He's been there since the 40s, so I'm assuming since the movie is going to take place in the 90s that he'll be in there somewhere. So Loki did end up dying, but honestly he died a lot later than everybody was saying he would, so I did kind of get that wrong. But I really loved how he put up a fight, and that was awesome, and he kind of redeemed himself. I was wrong about the movie starting off with Thanos attacking and invading Xandar for the Power Stone, but honestly Thor actually said word for word what I said about him decimating Xandar, so I'm gonna give myself a point for that. But that still wasn't how Captain Marvel gets introduced into the mix of things, and I was wrong about that as well. They also didn't show Korg or Valkyrie escaping from the ship like I had said, but when I was looking at the Asgardian ship at the beginning of the movie, I didn't see the Commodore on top of it, so I'm assuming that they all left on it. And when Thor was explaining to Rocket that he lost half of his people, I'm assuming that, you know, some of them did get away. I also mentioned that the Guardians were gonna end up in Wakanda just because of this interview that Anthony Mackie did like a while ago talking about Dave Bautista and Tom Holland being together. We heard about these scenes that were shot with 34 heroes involved, and we got all this promo stuff with all these characters like, you know, Peter Quill and Okoye, Bucky Barnes with Mantis. So I really did believe that they were going to end up in Wakanda. I mean, we got Groot and Rocket, but I was thinking the whole team would eventually meet up there. And the whole general versus general fight between Okoye and one of those Outrider generals did not happen. And that was actually Proxima Midnight that Okoye was fighting, and I said it was the Outrider general, but yeah, I actually got that one wrong too. And now for the things that I didn't like about the movie, guys, which takes absolutely nothing away from it. It's still an awesome movie. I really enjoyed myself, but no movie is perfect. And these are purely MCU fanboy nitpicks and just overall general things. So one of the biggest issues that I had with the movie personally was that it was very misleading in the way it was advertised. And what I mean by that, guys, is that most of the stuff that was in the trailers and certain toys that came out didn't actually make an appearance in the movie. But it is understandable due to the secrecy they were trying to uphold on set and for the movie. And I remember interviews where some of the cast was talking about that crazy scene with like 34 heroes, and I thought it would eventually happen in Wakanda with the Guardians and everybody eventually meeting there, but it actually didn't. And that battle was pretty much mainly 20 main characters, but I'm assuming something like that was actually shot and was just cut out due to it not fitting with the story they were trying to tell. Another thing, it didn't feel as cosmic as I thought it would be, although it did have its moments on Davalier, Titan, and Vormir, but I thought we'd see a lot more cosmic entities showing up, like maybe some of the Celestials or some of the Elders of the Universe, but nobody was really shown, but I do understand that, and they did a great job, especially because the movie is partially Earth-based, so they did the absolute best, in my opinion, with what they got. There also wasn't too many surprises or teases that were answered like Kevin Feige said there would be. I mean, I really did enjoy seeing the Red Skull again, seeing where he ultimately ended up and what he's been up to, and he kind of gave me the impression that he was supposed to be an amalgam of Death and Mephisto from the comic storyline, just because of that black cloak and the obvious skull head and the redness of that. So I thought that was really cool and I really enjoyed that, but I just thought there would be a lot more surprises, honestly. And probably the biggest thing that I had a problem with is that it did for me feel like part one of an overall story, and I feel like I kind of got trapped in a sense just because we know that Avengers 4 is coming out and that'll be the one true end. And back when phase 3 was announced, Infinity War was going to be a two-parter, so I feel like some of that kind of stuck with the story. But in a lot of ways it reminded me of Captain America Civil War, and that's how I took it. The repercussions in this movie will echo throughout the future of the MCU, so I just take it like that. And I understand they had to do this to raise the stakes and to leave us all jaw-dropped and wondering, but it feels like it'll be kind of necessary to see this movie before you see Avengers 4, which isn't a problem at all for some of us diehards, but I can see it potentially being an issue and a little bit confusing for casual moviegoers, but that's pretty much it. But all in all, guys, I appreciate Infinity War for what it was able to do, which was balance all these storylines, these characters, keeping me surprised, entertained, and giving us Farmer Thanos, which was awesome. So for that, I give Avengers Infinity War a rock solid 9.5 out of 10 with a high fluctuation range of up to 9.7. I really love the movie, guys, and I'm glad I was able to see it when it was first available to me in my area. But that's my opinion, guys. If you agree, that's awesome. But honestly, I don't personally pay attention too much to ratings myself. Even though some of them can be very informative and very helpful, they're not one size fits all. So go see it for yourself, form your own opinions, your own ratings, and let me know what you guys think of the movie. And of course, if I missed any of the predictions that I got wrong or right, feel free to call me out in the comments down below too. But yeah, guys, if you did like the video, leave me a thumbs up, comment down below, and if you want, subscribe. I always appreciate it. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.